As a recovering perfectionist and a previous competitive athlete, it feels so weird to say winning isn't everything. And if you've ever wanted something so badly that the outcome really just became the only thing that mattered, then in this episode, I'm going to be talking about the difference between results-based goals, process-based goals. I'm going to share my story from my son's sports season. And today I'm going to be talking about how winning isn't everything and the difference between results-based and process-based goals. My son has had a very great couple of weeks where he won the championship for his baseball league. They also won the championship game for his flag football, and then went into just a regular season game with his all-star baseball team. So he had this exciting feeling of winning, of momentum, and they didn't win. They had a game where they didn't win. They were losing, came back, and then ended up losing in the end. And during the game, they were all down, and that was the major conversation with the coaches after was how you can't get down on yourself. You got to like pick your head up and keep going. And on the way home, I asked him, "Did you have fun?" And he said, "Not really." And I realized then that a lot of the fun part is connected to winning. And it really opened up an important conversation between us and was a really good lesson or opportunity for a lesson. So, yes, winning is fun. Winning feels good. Winning gets you sometimes rewards, trophies, and such. But winning is not everything. It's not everything. Like sports, I said to him, sports are also about having fun, friendship, fitness, stretching yourself to get better, developing your skills, learning teamwork, building resilience. Okay, I didn't list all of these to him. I just said fitness, fun, friendship, and also developing your skills. I just said those. The thing I really want him to know is that there is joy in just the doing, that it's not only joy reserved when you win. Makes me think also about when I did my recent showcase, the emerging artist showcase for my one woman show. And it was a 10-minute pitch or a 10-minute showcase, whatever you wanted to call it, to industry experts, industry leaders. And for me, I was told by some of the other people, because I, zero theater background, so other people have experience, and they said, usually there is a prize at the end. And so everyone maybe votes and there's a prize. Or it's that push for I'm going to get booked. And for me, I was like, oh, I don't want the pressure of either of those because those are results-based goals, the winning piece. I was very happy that there was actually an honorarium for everyone involved, like everyone who pitched, which was fantastic. So there wasn't one big prize, everyone got a little bit. And it took the pressure off. So it took it from a results-based goal of landing my show in a theater or a residency or winning the prize. And it brought it from that results-based goal to a process-based goal. And it allowed me to just be like, you know what, the focus for me is on the process of putting together my slide deck, of my presentation. It was the process of working with a dramaturge for the very first time. I even had to Google the word, and who knows if I'm even saying it right. And to actually just do the pitch. So it took the pressure off having that process-based goal rather than a results-based goal. But a lot of times when we look at winning, it's that results-based goal. So I'm going to share a little bit more about both, and then you can determine when one is better than the other, or when you would want to have maybe both, because that's an option as well. So, as I've mentioned, results-based goals are focused on the outcome. So, my example of winning the game, maybe it's getting the client, it's hitting the revenue goal, it's getting the promotion, it's selling out the event you're doing. And these goals can be super motivating because they're clear, they're focused, you can push you, but you're not always fully in control of these situations, right? Because there's other things involved, like other people, others' timing, circumstances, competition, and luck. These can all affect the outcome. If we look at my theater experience or the one around the Emerging Artist Showcase, who's in the room also depends, makes it could really be that thing I can't control. Also, on any given day for sports, you can't control the refs or the umps, depending on which sport you're in, because it's always their kind of thought about how the play went. And so results-based goals can put a lot of pressure on you as well. And sadly, there's only one winner. So what I saw on that day with my son losing that game was he felt that because he didn't win, he didn't get the result that he wanted, he couldn't have a good time. He couldn't have enjoyed it. And that was just really sad. And instead, this idea of a process-based goal, this is focused on how you show up, all the pieces coming up to it. These are the things that are in your control. So rather than it being, I have to win this game, maybe it's, I'm going to try my best as I go along, and my goal is to, if it's baseball, swing when there's an opportunity. If it's soccer, it's I'm going to try my best and I'm going to try to keep them out of our half, or I'm going to try a new skill, or even leading up to it, it could be improving that skill. It could be getting feedback on how you're doing. Other things you can control are things like showing up with a good attitude, maybe being a good teammate. So maybe you're not the best on the fields, but are you the most supportive? The one that cheers people on, the one that kind of, come on, guys, we can do this. And actually, after the game, it was really cool to see. Like, there was a big team meeting, and they were telling them, you can't let a few runs cause you to just, put your head down and get down on yourself. You have to like stay positive, and you still can come back and you can still win this. At least that's what I'm imagining, they said, because I didn't listen in, but my son told me a little bit. But I heard when the coach was doing some of the cleanup after, one of the kids went over and said, "Thanks, coach. Thanks for today." And I thought that was amazing. But what was even better was how the coach said, "Hey, so and so, it was really great how positive you were out there. Like, that was being a good leader. Nice job. Keep it up." Like, I love that. I love that that child, that player, was acknowledged for their attitude. And sometimes just staying committed to something, even when it's hard, like with my Emerging Artist Showcase, I could have thought along the way, this is too hard. I can't do this. I'm not as good as everyone else who's gone to theater school. I'm not as good as everyone else who've won awards and already done lots of shows. I could have given up, but I stayed committed, even though it felt hard. And even though I had late nights, and even though I'm still running a business and trying to keep my house clean and feed my kids and all that, I stayed committed. And these are the things that are going to help you to grow, regardless of whether you win or in some cases you lose. And this applies to business. So let's bring it there. When we can become obsessed with results and results-based goals. So we're maybe running an event, how many people registered? Maybe we're looking at our finances. How much money did I make? We're looking at a sales call. Did they say yes? We are thinking about a launch for a program or a product or whatever it may be. Did it work? Did we fill the program? But when we look at the process-based goals, we can control them. We can enjoy the process if we can win at that. So something like, rather than how many people registered, it's I'm going to put in this strategy. I'm going to get the strategy done by these dates. And then I'm going to review it, monitor it, and do our best. right? You can maybe take care of that a little bit more. Instead of, did the launch work? Did we fill the program? It's like, did I even just make the invitation? Did I get better at my copywriting skills in my email funnel? Did I improve the offer maybe when it wasn't selling as well? Instead of did they say yes, it could be did I put in the right sales strategy on this call? Did I follow up with them afterwards? Did I educate them? Did I take out any worry that this wouldn't be the right decision? Did I learn something? Did I stay consistent? And when we think of even something around other areas of life, like your health, instead of I'm going to lose 20 pounds, it's I'm going to eat better according to this way of eating. I'm going to drink water and I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week. And then hopefully we get that results-based goal. So you can actually have both going at the same time. Now, what if it was about your love life and you don't have a partner currently and you want the result to be you find the man of your dreams and you marry them? Well, that's a big, big goal. What if the process was just, I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to tell people that I'm looking for someone and I'm going to go on some dates. Again, that's a process-based goal that you can control. So the bigger message here really is that results, yes, results matter. And we know they do. And they are the SMART goals and they're the quantifiers. However, process goals can also be quantified and they can also be things that we follow and that we measure. But results-based goals can't be the only measure of success. Otherwise, my son would think that every time the team loses, there's no success in that, no joy in that. But he hit a good hit. He's not been hitting well recently, but he hit a good hit and they caught it. Now, them catching it and making him out doesn't take away from the fact that he made a good hit. And if we're only allowed to feel success when we're winning, we miss out on so many things along the way that we can be proud of, that we can celebrate, that we can see grow us, and that we can learn from and apply to something else. So those process goals allow you to celebrate your progress along the way. And the importance of that is it helps you to stay motivated because you can't be winning every day, right? So in a sports season, you might be playing in a sport for 2 months. Then you have the playoffs. You could be training for 4 years for the Olympics. And if you're only motivated by the gold medal or the trophy at the end or the big paycheck, you're really missing out. Because you can build your confidence during the process because you're able to really manage and focus on what you can control. So ask yourself, where are you only measuring the result? And what process goals could you focus on instead? It might be more motivating to focus on the process rather than the result. It might be more motivating to say, I'm going to make an offer every day, or I'm going to hire someone to help me with my next launch rather than I want to make an extra 10,000 a month. And the last question I'm going to leave you with is, what would make you proud even if the result doesn't go your way? Even if you don't win, what would still make you proud? That's a powerful question. So yes, winning is wonderful. Yes, I love winning. Yes, I'm super competitive and always want to kind of get that result. But it's not the only thing that matters. The real win might be who you become in the process to the result. So this week, this month, choose one process goal you can control and celebrate that. And if you get the result, then that's just icing on the cake. Thank you so much for listening to the Dynamic Women podcast. If you haven't yet, write us a review. And when you do, screenshot it, send it over to team@dianerolston.com with your mailing address so we can send you a little something special in the mail. And also, if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, right? Share it with a friend. And if you prefer moving forward, rather than listening to the podcast or in conjunction to, you can always read these topics on my blog or watch the video on YouTube. Until next time, stay dynamic. Bye.